Dear students, today we are going to learn concept of education. Concept of education. The basic problem that all living creatures face after taking birth is the problem of adaptation to environment mentally, physically, emotionally, socially and professionally. Some creatures have some natural capacities which help them adapt to their environment, and no systematic education is needed for this purpose. But case of human is different. He is the most dependent being of all the living beings known. His family and the society educates him formally as well as informally to make him self-dependent. The intellectual power and wisdom that man has over and above other animals help him to receive education. It is the education that helps him to adapt to the environment. The process of education begins immediately after the child is born. His mother teaches him first how to breastfeed. By using trial and error technique, the child comes to learn how to suck milk from the breast of the mother. As the child's exposure expands, the number of his formal and informal teachers also increases. This process continues till his last breath in some way or the other. Thus, whole life of a man is centered around his wisdom or intelligence, making him superior to all other living beings in the process. Today, society and social needs have become very complex. There is always a new challenge as soon as we take the second breath. Newer and newer inventions and discoveries have taught the man to have more and more control over nature. Social relations have also become very complex. Apart from this, search from good to better in order to make the life more easy and comfortable has also revolutionized the human life at its peak. All these factors have led to the creation of formal education in schools, colleges, and universities. In order to make education a systematic and healthy process, the knowledge of philosophical thought and social awareness become necessary. Some of the procedures is followed while imparting formal education in school, and they are society and nation takes the responsibilities of imparting education to the people to bring about the adoption change in them. For this purpose, human and physical resources are arranged. The entire educational material is condensed and divided into subjects. Subjects and its content are selected keeping in view the age, ability, intelligence, need, and specific interest area of the learners coupled with the needs of society and the nation. Then education is imparted by the teacher who knows how to bring about maximum change in learners in lesser amount of time. Energy and resources. Lastly, evaluations is done in order to give them the certificate of adaptability like degrees of BA, BSc, B.Ed, etc. Meaning of education. The word education has three roots in Latin language. Educatum, to train, art of teaching. Educere, to draw out inner power. Educare, to bring up, to develop, thus drawing out the innate capacities of an individual to develop his personality to the full by training or teaching is education. From the above etymological concept of education, the following characteristics of education can be drawn. Education is a continuous process that starts with life and ends with death. It is because innate capacities are not restricted to age. At every moment of life, man has some innate capacities. Innate capacities, when come in contact with the outer environment, develop some beliefs and values in the individual. Thus, education is concerned with beliefs and values also. When man is trained or taught, he acquires certain skill. Thus, education is a skill that a person acquires after practice. Education is the enrichment of human knowledge and experiences by going through the process of thinking, experimentations, and drawing conclusion. Education is a process of developing personality of the individual to enable him to adapt to the changing physical and social environment. Individual is composed of body and soul, so education is concerned with physical and spiritual development both. In order to understand the concepts of education, three meanings of the word educations are given. One is general meaning, second one is technical meaning, and the third one is functional meaning. Let us see one by one. First, general meaning. The instructions and knowledge given in schools is known as education by ordinary people. In this process, teachers impart knowledge to students with specific aims. Here, teacher dominates the scene and the learners are only passive listeners who receives only what is given to them, and when the process is over, they receive the certificate of pass or fail at the end of the year or course. This concept of education is very narrow in the sense that it is only the communication of information by the teacher and acquisition of knowledge by students. Here, no emphasis is given on all round development of child's personality. As a result, this type of education fails to prepare a child capable of facing future challenges and hardship. The second one is technical meaning. Here, education consists of all those experiences in and outside the school which affect the individual in any way during his lifetime. It is essentially the process of developing personality, shaping behavior, and modifying character related to the person being educated. Thus, education is a lifelong, um, conscious as well as unconscious process, which is also not restricted to the boundaries of time, place, or person. Every time when we are not asleep, we receive some education in the form of knowledge or experience. The place where exchange of experiences takes place is technically a school, and any person who plays more active role in the process is a teacher. The last one is functional meaning. Functionally, education is the full exploitation of inherent capacities of the individual for new experiences and developing his personality in such a way that enable him to apply the acquired knowledge and experience in his real life for the betterment of the self, society, and the nation. Thus, education can make an individual a perfect and complete man in his own boundaries, though the highest degree of perfection or completeness will never be achieved. It is because only Brahma, the God, is real and perfect. Definitions of education. Various definition of education has been grouped under four categories. They are education as a modification of behavior, education as a process of personality development, education as a process of drawing out the innate powers, and education as a process of adjustment to the environment and society. First, let us see about education as a modification of behavior. Professor Drever gave that education is a process in which and by which knowledge, character, and behavior of the young are shaped and molded. According to John Dewey, education is a process different from process of preparation for future life. It is a gradual repetition of experiences and feelings. The second one is education as a process of personality development. According to Mahatma Gandhi, by education I mean the all-round drawing out of the best in child and man, body, mind, and spirit. According to Oren Tagore, education means to enable the child to find out the ultimate truth, making truth its own and giving expression to it. Education is a process of drawing out the innate power. According to Socrates, Education means the bringing out of the ideas of universal validity which is latent in the mind of every man. Pestalozzi, according to him, education is a natural, harmonious, and progressive development of man's innate power. And the last one is education as a process of adjustment to the environment and society. According to the Brown, education is a consciously motivating process whereby changes in behavior are produced in the person through the person within the group. And according to Raymont, education is a process of development which consists the passage of human being from infancy to maturity, the process whereby he adapts himself gradually in various ways to his physical, social, and spiritual environment. Characteristics of education. If we analyze the above definition, we can infer the following characteristics of education. First one is education, a lifelong process. It is not limited to the education imparted in the school complex for a specified period of time, but it is a lifelong process and obtained anywhere from the more experienced person. The second one is develops the inherent power of a child. Education is not a thing that is forced into the mind from outside. It rather works as a catalyst to develop the innate capacity of a child through outside experiences of the environment. The third one is a dynamic process. Education and its nature changes according to the changing need of the society and the individual. Thus, it is a meaningful and purposeful activity. Fourth one is a tripolar process. Education is a process in which a more mature person works on less mature one with the help of curriculum. Thus, a teacher is free to act only within the boundaries of the curriculum and the students gain knowledge plus experiences from their teacher. The fifth one is a process of modifying behavior and character formation. It molds the behavior and character of a child in a desirable manner. The sixth one is a direct and indirect process both. When teacher and taught are in direct contact, education is a direct process, but when people receive it from a distance, it is an indirect process. The seventh one is enrichment of experiences. Every individual has his own range of experiences, which may be right or wrong. Through the process of education, these experiences are directed towards the goal of life. The eighth one is the process of all-round development of the individual. Personality of an individual has three equally important dimensions: physical, mental, and spiritual. A healthy mind lies only in a healthy body, and a body alienated from soul is dead. The man away from spirituality is like beast whose activities of life are confined to fulfilling physical needs only. The process of education coordinates these three dimensions of the individual and makes him an adaptable man. The final one is a process of adjustment to environment. When we don't get what we desire to get, we become maladjusted in the society. By teaching various skills to the individual, the process of education brings about social adjustment. Similarly, the individual and the environment are most of the time antagonistic to each other. Example: severe cold forces us to wear warm clothes. Through the process of education, the lesson of adjustments are taught. Thank you.